Oh, you know what? There's been so many people I've enjoyed over the years. I loved Steve Martin stuff, when he was a wild and crazy guy. So it was so odd at first to see him doing such wonderful stuff, seemingly as the straight man in the movies. But I think when people have that, if they can do the extreme on one side, they can usually do the extreme on the other. That they can use some of the same emotions and channel them differently. So he was one of the guys I loved. George Carlin, I really liked him because he just made his living off of words, just examining them and how bizarre they could be. Even something as simple as saying the phrase near miss. No, it's a near hit. Or taking a dump. Hey, don't take my dump, man. I've only got two left. And the weekend's coming up. You love, clever stuff like Stephen Wright. Still, I'll quote Stephen Wright all the time. I mean, not quote him. I'll steal his stuff when I'm in the car, and then people, oh, that's really good. It's really clever. Um, you know, I don't do those types of things on stage, but I'm more of a storyteller. So I love a good storyteller as well. Even somebody like Bill Cosby, who seemingly wouldn't have much in common with me, but I love the way he tells stories. Takes kind of seemingly like mundane acts like his kids making a chocolate cake for breakfast, and turns it into something wonderful. Um, I like to think of myself as kind of like a less mature or less intelligent Garrison Keeler up there. So you know, I, I can tell stories, but they usually have something juvenile happening in them. I always liked the reactions in wrestling are great. I mean, that's why I got into the wrestling. I wasn't one of the guys who got into it out of a competitive spirit. It was more, what can I get? What can I do to make people react a certain way? For a long time, I wanted to make people wince, or shake their head in disbelief. But then I found along the way, I enjoyed making them laugh. When I was a heel or bad guy, for those of you who don't know, the idea is you make them laugh and then you cut them off and make them feel bad for laughing in the first place. An example of that would be the drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket. He makes you feel bad that you feel bad that you're laughing at somebody else's misfortune, and then he would cut off the laughter and do something completely non-humorous. So I was a reaction guy, and it's different. Stand up is different in that you really have to keep focused on comedy. A humorous story that makes people chuckle is not enough if you're in a stand-up venue. So I don't know if I consider myself a comedian. I, you know, it's kind of like a performing art with an emphasis on humor. Although I'm not good enough at it yet to call myself an artist. So you can call me what you like. Just don't call me late for dinner. See? I got to laugh at that. Yeah, they share a lot of the same traits as far as the elation and the disappointment on consecutive nights, despite the fact that you think you've done basically the same thing. Finding out that something that works really well in one city doesn't work at all in another is kind of sobering. Um, so from a emotional standpoint, they're really similar, especially for comics who are trying to get a break, willing to work for almost nothing, willing to travel long distances, sleep in some undesirable locations with some undesirable people. Uh, but let's face it, the wrestlers, they take the emotional pounding and the physical pounding. So I would say wrestling, with all due respect to the comics, wrestling takes a physical toll that comedy doesn't. I'm not sure. My goal is just to be able to do it like 4 or 5 times a month in front of respectable crowds. Um, some people have come to see me and been like, oh, the poor guy, there was only 300 people there. 300 people is a lot of people for stand-up comedy. I mean, I would love to get 300 tonight in Charlotte. If I could do 300 people 4 times a month, I could be a professional comic. You know, you can make a living doing that. Um, I don't know if I could ever get to that next level of doing the 1,000-seat theaters. I'd need some type of platform to do that, and I'd have to be really good consistently.
Any albums, maybe?
Well, I've got a tour of the UK coming up, and 5 out of 6 shows are sold out already. They're 2 months ahead of time. They sold out. There's people in Newcastle are being stubborn. We got like 100 tickets left. And then there's a couple shows that are still available in Ireland. But I think we're going to film some of those shows. I would love to put out, we used to actually listen to the albums, the long playing albums. You sit around your friend's house and you listen to the albums and you laugh. Now it's more, DVDs, or you listen on the radio on one of the comedy stations. But I think I could put out a good special if somebody took the interest in me. Yeah, this auction currently is to help out Vermont flood victims. This is something singer Grace Potter, who's tremendous. She's putting together a few shows in Vermont to help out her home state, and I was like, hey, I'm a fan, and like I have some stuff that people would like, so I'm trying to raise like 5,000 to help her meet her goal of 100,000. I was trying to think of something. There wasn't something on there that I absolutely loved that would signify like personal sacrifice. We're giving away a vacation package to Survivor Series, but that's not like something I had. The flannel shirt that I was wearing in a big promo with Ric Flair, it's been in a box. Like, yeah, there are other flannels. So I was trying to think of something that would be symbolic of personal sacrifice. And so you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to part with my Medal of Reasonableness that was handed to me by John, bestowed upon me by Jon Stewart at the rally to restore sanity and or fear in front of my estimation was 250,000 people. 250,000 saw this being bestowed upon me, and now I want somebody to have it. So they can go to the auction site. They can just go to realmickfoley.com, and then they can click on it right from there. If they want it, but I got it right here. There it is. You have no idea how many times I've been tripped up going through airport security wearing this bad boy, and I won't take it off. It's like a religion to me. So they have to give me the thorough pat down. So you can pat me down, you can have your way with me, but I'm not taking this medal off. The only time I take it off is for a good cause. So you guys can bid away on that bad boy. It's at a very reasonable price right now, and unlike gold medals, in the Olympics, there's only like 5 of these. Statistically, there's thousands of people in the world with an Olympic gold medal. Like, big deal. Kurt Angle's got one. I've got this, and you can have it soon. RealMickFoley.com, and 100% of the proceeds go to the Mad River Community Fund for flood victims in Vermont.